Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. So, I am doing an Inktober series. It is October. I just don't have that much black and white stuff. So I've been looking through what I own and what I have available on digital that I own, and we did one with Bernie Wrightson, and so now we're gonna do one with Alex Toth, and these are the creepy adventures of Alex Toth here. The So these are a lot of black and whites. This is done using dual tones and dual shades here. So this just from the magazines that were available during the 60s and 70s, most likely. And so here's the black and white illustration of that, and you can see here that this is just brushwork and a little ink work, but um, what a master! Um, it just looks so good. Man, Alex Toth was great, but boy, he could have been even greater here. And so these is our contents of the stories that are here. And Alex Toth, man. So let's get to it. So here's our first story. We're not really going to read the stories, we are going to look at the beautiful art. So I'm going to go slower. I noticed that I was going a little too fast. Archie Goodwin actually does the script for this here. Um, Alex Toth is one of the best, one of the greatest. And so his type of art is one that speaks to me, is one that I find very I don't know, it's just beautiful. I love brushwork and I love artists that use the brush for art, and then he not just uses brush, but he also uses these dual tones, dual shades, which I have explained before. Cartoonist kayfabe, rest in peace, Ed Piscor, actually has a video on how they explain dual tone and dual shade. So that's how they get. So instead of him having to use screen tones, which have to be um, cut and all these kind of things. Instead, you use a paper that use these chemicals to get these lines. Just amazing work, amazing, amazing. This is also another one with Archie Goodwin doing the writing here. Alex Stoth had a fantastic run of Zorro with Dell Comics, and that's probably his most his most famous thing is Super Friends, the animation in the late '60s with Marvin and Wendy. Do you remember those Super Friends during that time? And so that is probably what he's best known for. And this is just spectacular art. This dude. So, artists in today's era that remind me of Toth would be Chris Samney. Now, during October, he does Battober, so he does like a Batman piece a day. Um, and um, Klaus Janson, although Klaus Janson isn't really of this generation, but Klaus Janson is someone who is brushwork. Al Williamson, who has passed away, also. Although Al Williamson is probably a little bit after Alex Toth, but he was around in the 60s and 70s. But these ink slingers like this, you just don't see too many of them. Everybody um, draws with what are those little markers that you use you see them draw a lot, and they don't really do the blacks anymore. They did everything now is lines, 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 lines. And I understand that's how modern artists are working, but you just don't see too many people draw in brush. Someone else from this era. Um, let's see here. I had his name on the tip of my tongue, and I forgot. He Dan Panosian. Sorry, Dan Panosian gives me a little bit of Alex Toth vibes. Um, so let's see. Chris Samney, Dan Panosian. That's two ink slingers from this era. I just love people that. Um, is this done on pencil? I wonder. No, no, it's ink. Just the different styles that they would come up with things back then. It's just um digital allows, this new everything now is in these new digital styles. Um I, I'm a bit of an old soul, so I really do like um these older uh ways of doing things. Alex Toth drew circles around so many artists, but he unfortunately did not have like the superhero. I think he only did a few Batmans, and I've covered one. I have a Batman playlist if you would like to check it out. Also, for Inktober, I am getting a playlist together. So feel free to check that out. I believe this will be like the 19th um in there. I'm gonna try to do one for every single day. Um, but I can't promise you that because I realize I don't have a lot of black and white, or at least a lot of different black and white. I have a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I have a lot of their collections, and I have a lot of the Sin City. But I don't want to just give you the the same stuff. Yeah, I could do 50 black and or 31 black and white Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I'm trying to give you different things. So some of the ones that I have done is I did um for Batman, I did um Batman Year 1. I did Batman Dark Knight Returns, um Batman The Killing Joke. That's it for Batman. I did from Frank Miller. I did the second book of Ronin, and I did those over 4 videos. I did each the first 3 parts were each in a video, and then I realized that the last 3 parts ran really quickly, so I just combined them into one video. So let's see. um I did the Return to New York. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are in there. So got a few things in there. So check it out if you'd like to see some of these black and white comics. Um, the only ones that I actually read what's going on has been the Ronin and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I didn't read along for the Batman Year One or Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Or this is really good. Um, because those have been covered so much by other people, and who doesn't know those stories? So I just sort of did this so you could look at the art and mostly just talked. But you can always mute me. And so this is just spectacular art. It is just spectacular. So from Alex Toth, I have the Zorro collection, and then I have the Genius, the 3 volumes. So I have the Life and Art of Alex Toth, which is the Genius Isolated. I have the Genius Illustrated, which is um, the continuation of the first book. But then the third one is dealing with the animated one with the cartoon art of Alex Toth. So that's where Super Friends, and then when he was working with in Hanna Barbera. So I would have loved to have seen this guy, perhaps like on Daredevil, even in the early '60s. Love to have seen what he could have done. So definitely you can see his different art styles that he's using here. A little bit more simple, and then he letters himself, by the way. And then how instead of drawing the thing, he just has a line kind of point through. So I don't know if you can see there, but this is how you can tell like who's speaking by the way where it's going here. So um as I mentioned, I love thick black lines that brushes make, and artists that illustrate with brush are my kryptonite. I just love it. So I draw on an iPad. So I do draw digital, but I use the Procreate. And then I bought some brushes from True Grit, the company that kind of makes it so that the digital art, sort of looks like real art. And so I use the iPad because I just don't have. Sometimes, I'll watch TV. It's just easier to have an iPad than it is to have a Bristol board or have, ink or have to wait for something to dry. Have to do this, have to do that. And so I prefer the digital aspect, but I love the brushes that I was able to, and I use a lot of distressed brushes on my artwork to try and give it a different art style. I try not to do too much feathering, and so just beautiful work. And so we are kind of halfway through this book. Should I pick it up a little bit more? Man, when you see now this, you're looking now at another style. Doug Munch. So it looks like someone's illustrations by Leo Summers with Alex Toth. So What a what an absolute king he was. He was um you look at Jack Kirby's and everybody always marvels at Jack Kirby's, I don't know, style or whatever. Oopsie. But I think Alex Toth draws circles around him. So I think Alex Toth is inking this and somebody else is penciling this here. Um, Ed Brubaker works with Sean Phillips, who works with the brush as well. And Sean Phillips is also one of my favorites. Um, Although Sean Phillips is, um, gosh, probably around my age, so he's probably around, he's probably a little older than me. So he could be in his late 50s or early 60s. Um, I would love to see new artists come up that are these with these that are ink slingers. I love brushwork. So we got about 40 pages done here. So again, some more of the dual tones here being applied. So this paper is not very it weathers much. So there's a lot of brown and yellows that as this paper ages, if it's not kept into in some kind of uh, better status, it's not very archival. So my wife is in the other room on a meeting. So and I have my office door open. So if you hear that, uh, this microphone picks up everything. My dog will be upstairs and she will bark and it'll pick it up. It picks up everything. So just a master illustrator. So these creepy stories, I wonder, if some of Stephen King's short um, short stories would work great on some of these. It is just amazing. These illustrators back then, man, having to do all these things old school, sit behind a desk and um, paint. Now, so many people, me included, take so many shortcuts that are available because of digital. Back then you made a mistake, you had to use like white media to cover it. Beautiful work. Oh, just using a pen. So for this, he most likely used a pen, like my sound effects. I just did that for a Amazing Spider-Man. I was not illustrating. I was going through Amazing Spider-Man 317, which is drawn by Todd McFarlane, and going every time I was showing how many lines McFarlane would throw in there. Just amazing stuff here. And so we are almost done here, maybe 10 pages left. Alex Toth passed away, I think, in the 90s. So he died much younger. I mean, he died, I think, in his 60s. So perhaps a heart attack. Um, I would, I would guess. I know that Wally Wood was a suicide, also in the 90s. So, you know, eh. And what an amazing illustrator. Man, rest in peace, Toth. Beautiful work. I got this book for really cheap, so absolutely beautiful. And so we get to our end. So, um, yeah, beautiful work. So, all right. So, the creepy and eerie adventures of Alex Toth. Like and subscribe, and I do thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.